Her throat was on fire, the breath heaving in and out of her burning lungs in uneven, exhausted spurts, more painful than her screaming leg muscles. But still, she kept running. It was so quiet in the woods, she briefly entertained the hope she'd eluded her pursuer. Except the darkness was so complete, so utterly dense, she couldn't risk looking back for fear she'd trip over an exposed tree root. She pushed on, desperate to break free from the forest, back into a more populated area. A twig slapped the side of her face, its wilted leaves like slimy fingers as they streaked her cheek with freezing cold droplets of water. Biting back a gasp of surprised fright, she kept her momentum, weaving haphazardly through the ghostly trees. The soggy leaves underfoot masked the sound of her pounding feet. An advantage, perhaps, but one her pursuer also had. The thought propelled her forward at a pace she hadn't known she was capable of, until a brittle branch snapped with a loud crack under her sneaker, the noise carrying endlessly through the stillness of the forest. She froze instinctively, her legs quivering with fatigue, waiting to see if she'd been detected, and risked a glance over her shoulder. Her slight frame sagged with relief when she couldn't see him, and she took a moment to suck in a deep, much-needed gulp of air. A light beckoned in the distance, which meant she was getting close to the road. Renewed strength surged into her exhausted legs as she began moving again, certain now she was going to make it back to safety, away from the insanity of the last few endless hours. Scrambling blindly through the dense bush, she tried futilely to make out the forest track leading to the edge of the woods. And then she felt it. Warm breath expelled against her neck, drifting past her cheek, rancid and terrifying. Her stomach clenched and she whirled clumsily, wondering hysterically how he'd approached her so quietly. She opened her mouth to scream, but her vocal cords registered the terror clogging her brain and seized up. Instead, only a pitiful whimper crossed her lips as she raised her head to... Her eyes flared in disbelief. It wasn't him. It was much, much worse. Staggering backwards, she barely even registered tripping on a tree root and tumbling down into the decaying leaves. Her eyes wide with horror, she stared up into the malevolent red gaze of the beast above her. It was huge, wolf-like, but with scabby patches of missing fur and a gaping maw that exposed a set of rabid fangs, already salivating. Her brain tried to tell her to move, to somehow fight for survival, but her limbs felt paralyzed, her will to live not strong enough to overpower the fear disabling them. Tears leaked unnoticed from the corners of her eyes as she waited for that horrible mouth to devour her. Fleeting images of her parents and two younger brothers flashed across her mind, and she wished she'd had one last chance to tell them how much she loved them. Except the beast didn't move to eat her. Instead, it lifted a paw, one hooked claw extended. In an oddly human gesture, the claw slid slowly across her exposed throat, cutting through the flesh and sinew as if they were silk. Again she tried to scream, but all that emerged was a bloody gurgle as her life drained away.